Hi guys! I asked you guys on Instagram to ask me questions about these dolls. And I was just sitting down to record a video when this baby started crying. Perfect timing, right? So, I think she just needs to be rocked. Let's go to the first question.
I'm very curious. Are these babies designed to be like as difficult as possible? Do they cry constantly? I have no experience with real babies either, so maybe that's what real babies are like. I don't know.
So, are they designed to be as difficult as possible? No, they are not. There are 3 different modes, or you can do a custom mode. So, there's easy, medium, or hard, or you can custom do it so every day it's either whatever you pick. So, I could be like, on Monday I want it to be easy mode, Tuesday hard mode, you know, stuff like that. She is on hard mode, and she is pretty fussy. She cries, it feels like every hour, and sometimes she'll need me that whole hour. Sometimes she'll just need a diaper change, which takes about 30 seconds. It really just depends. But I will include a picture right after I answer this video with the schedule that Reality Works, which is the company that makes these. It's the schedule they put out for how these babies work. So when they were designing the babies, they had 15 different moms with different aged babies record what their babies did in a 24-hour period. And then they used these schedules to how these babies act. So a real baby back in like 2001 was fussy at about 10 in the morning and so forth. Wanted a diaper change at 1 in the morning. But this isn't too hard. Okay, she's on hard level. I am on 3.5 hours of sleep right now. This is a little difficult, but she's not crying constantly. I just took a shower and did some other things for about an hour, and she slept the whole time. So it's not too bad. But I have had some experience with real babies, and they're not, my niece, when she was about a newborn baby, so this size, she wasn't too bad from what I remember. Her mom might have thought otherwise, but I thought she mostly just slept. When she came to visit me when she was 5 months old and teething, though, she was a holy terror. She was the sweetest, cutest holy terror you'll ever meet. That you'll ever meet. But she was constantly crying. I had her in the back seat of my Jeep, like in her car seat, of course, but I was driving around with lullabies playing for hours trying to get her to go to sleep. And it was just, that was a fun time. But if I had her on easy mode, she probably wouldn't cry too much. And right here is where I'll include the picture of their normal schedules.
I've always wanted a Real Care doll. What are some things you recommend for someone looking to get one?
What are some tips I would recommend for somebody who wants to get a Real Care baby? Well, it depends if you want the baby to do this where you take care of it while it cries, or do you just want a full-limbed doll that looks like this? If you just want the doll, and you don't care if it cries, you don't care if it does anything, eBay is your best friend. Well, eBay is your best friend no matter what. The best place I have found to get these dolls is on eBay, but you have to be patient. So if you just want the doll and nothing else, you don't want it to run, look on eBay and have a search for under like 70 bucks, because if you don't want anything with them, if you don't want them to work, they shouldn't be more than 70 bucks. But if you want one to work, I have found it is really hard sometimes to go hunt down everything you need for these dolls on the secondary market. So it's really hard to find their diapers. Not too hard to find bottles, because a girl here on YouTube does make them herself. She makes a lot of bottles and pacifiers. They're pretty cool. But other than that, like, diapers are hard to find, chargers can be hard to find, stuff like that. So I would recommend buying one of the dolls that comes with almost everything you need. That can be pretty pricey, though. They also, the 2 pluses and the 3s need a controller, whether that's the long arm or the X stick, to be programmed into work. Whereas Real Care Baby 6 and Real Care Just 2, they don't need chargers and they don't need a controller to work. You basically just hit the emergency stop button that's on their back and they'll start working. But if you end up getting a 2 plus or a 3, or you just want the controller so you can put it on daycare, or it's just easier for you to program and choose what they do, the controllers and programmers are really expensive. I think X sticks, I've seen them go for $300, and the programmers I've seen go for like $400. They're really expensive. So I would recommend just going on eBay, setting up a search, and being patient if you want one of these dolls. The seller, I got her and Joy, even though I did have to return Joy. Their seller was really nice, and they have a lot of dolls for sale, and a lot of them come with everything you'll need, from the bottles to the diapers to the charger. But they don't come with the controller. You have to get that, and that's the expensive part. But then again, if you end up getting a 2 or a 6, not the 2 plus, not the 3, I do have a controller, and I'm willing, as long as whoever it is pays shipping and maybe like 30 or 40 bucks, just because I want to make some kind of profit, because I suck a little. I am willing to program babies for people, as long as they pay shipping and pay me a little bit extra. But yeah, they're not too hard to find. I even saw one on Mercari, however you pronounce that. I think he was going for about 60 bucks. But one thing I do not recommend is don't go on the Facebook groups, the Facebook Baby Think It Over groups, looking for one of these dolls, because a lot of people find that rude. Because I guess that's been happening a lot, where they started these groups so there's like a support system and friends, and then people will just be like, sell me your doll. I want a doll. Sell me that. And that's a little annoying. That's the best advice I have. I hope that helps.
When do they go to bed at night? And do a day in the life of her.
So they don't really go to bed at night. They go to sleep throughout the day and throughout the night randomly. But last night, for example, she woke me up at 1 in the morning, and she needed care for most of that hour. And then she needed care from 5 a.m., 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. And she didn't really sleep. I'm only running on about 3.5 hours of sleep right now. And so depending on what schedule they have, they do not really go to bed at night. Neither will you. It sucks. But it does also, this is a neat little project. And for the other part of that question, will I do a day in the life of her? Yes, that's what I'm doing right now. I am taking care of her for 50 hours straight, and I am recording it as I go. That's why she's kind of crying right now, because I am not going to stop her crying. Yeah. But yeah, I am doing a video with her. You should see that this week if I didn't post it already. I don't know what order I'm going to post these videos in. But thanks for your question.
I want to know a video on your doll. I just want to know a generation and just about the doll.
This question's a bit confusing, but because it's hard to, if you just ask me, I just want to know about the doll. That's really hard, because there's a lot of things about these dolls. So I can answer her generation though. So on her back, it says she's the newest generation, Generation 3. But supposedly Generation 3 dolls do not work with the long arm controller, but she works with the long arm controller. So she might be a 2 plus. I'm not really sure, and I don't know if I totally care, because even if I had a 3, some of the features on the 3 I wouldn't use, such as the 3 knows what clothes it's wearing if they are the clothes that came with the actual doll, and I wouldn't use that because I'd rather just have her in really cute outfits. And also the doll will know how long it's been in the car seat, and I am a cheater and she spends a lot of time in the car seat because in the middle of the night it's a lot easier for me to rock her car seat with one finger while I sit there half asleep than it is for me to do this and come into the nursery and just rock her in the rocking chair. As for the doll, they're really cool. I guess they're about, I'm gonna say 22 inches. They wear newborn size clothes, newborn size diapers, although that's not the type of diaper that will work with the doll if you're doing a simulation with it. And they are full body, so they can wear onesies, swimsuits, whatever you want. They're not necessarily cuddly, and they're decently heavy, but I think it's a pretty cool doll. They can turn their heads, and their head can also flop backwards, and then they'll scream, and I don't want her screaming at me. But thank you for asking though.
Did you enjoy your 48 hours with the Real Care Baby? Was there anything that frustrated you?
Did I enjoy this? So I still have like 11 hours left with her, and I did enjoy this. It was really fun. So I collect Tamagotchis and I have 3 dogs. My personality really gears to me liking to take care of things. So I did find this enjoyable. I also did this for a weekend, I think on easy or medium level mode when I was in high school, and I loved it then too. But I think what was most frustrating for me, especially because she was on hard level, is on hard level they get fussy, like how she is now, where they need to be rocked for like 45 minutes at a time. And at 3 in the morning, when I have had like an hour of sleep, I don't want to rock her for 45 minutes. So I think if I were to do this again, or when I have a real baby, I would get an automatic rocker or a swing for the baby because it is really hard to do this or in our car seat go over and over and over again for 45 minutes. But it's still been a lot of fun. It's definitely been interesting, and I hope you guys all enjoy the videos because I've had a lot of fun making them. So,
where can you get cheap Real Care Babies?
Where can you find cheap Real Care Babies? So, I would definitely recommend setting up searches on eBay, and these searches I would put in like Real Care Baby, Real Care Baby 6, Real Care Baby 2, Baby Think It Over doll. And eventually, if you wait, you will find a cheap doll. One of the dolls I got, she was broken, and the seller did not disclose that, but I got her for like 60 bucks. So if you just want one of these to hold and not really do anything with, and just treat it like a reborn doll. Oh, she burped. Okay. So if you want one of these just to have it and to hold it and dress it up, then one of those dolls on eBay that doesn't come with anything is probably your best bet. There's one on Macari right now, a boy, and I think he's going for $70. I've seen a lot of them go for really cheap. But if you want one that's working and you want all the stuff to be able to run a simulation like this, depending on what your idea of cheap is, you probably will not be able to find it for cheap. And the reason for that is one, you can only get these if you are like a school or a homeschool from the company Reality Works. And when you're doing that from that company, these are really, really pricey. These are not cheap dolls. This is not a cheap program. Oh, are you grumpy again? Hold on. Sorry about that. So yeah, these dolls are not cheap. The cheapest, so I got this one. with everything you need except the controller. I got her for about $200, and that's as cheap as I've ever seen them for when they come with everything you need. But the controllers can go for about $300, so that adds up. Unfortunately, I think your best bet if you really, really want one of these is to be patient. Is to set up a search on Mercari and eBay and just wait it out. You will eventually get what you want, even if it is that $60 baby that comes with nothing, and then you have to go hunt down the diapers and the controller and the bottle. But if you want something bad enough, you will make it happen. So I wish you all the luck in finding one of these cheap.
How cheap are they? I looked, and they are expensive. And is it worth the money?
Okay, I'm not trying to be mean, but you did say you looked at the price, and if that's too expensive for you, my advice, like I told everybody else, is to wait and keep looking and wait until you see a price that works for you. Sometimes in life we have to be patient, and if that means we have to save up money for something we really like, then that's what we have to do. Or if we have to wait and look at eBay until we find something that's in our price range, that's what we have to do. I do think they are worth the money. Like I said the last question, these dolls, when they come from the company, they are very expensive. I think they're around, and I'm saying around, it might be give or take $200, but I think they are around $1,000 when a school buys them straight from the company. So getting the doll and everything that comes with it for $500 is still a discount. And there are ways around buying the programmer, such as if you get the doll and you find you have everything you need, there are people who are willing to program your doll, such as me, as long as you pay shipping and pay me like around 30 or 40 bucks, I am very happy to program your doll for you. And then you don't have to buy a $300 to $400 programmer. There are ways to do this cheap, and I think for me, I think it's worth it because they really cry. I really have to take care of it. But if I don't want to really take care of it, I can also just have it be another reborn doll basically, and it's a full body doll, so it can wear onesies and bathing suits and all kinds of cute outfits. And to me that's worth it, because if I'm just without the programmer buying it, it was cheaper than a lot of nice reborn dolls. And if you include the programmer, then I think that really ups the price and ups the value, because then you also get to do a lot more with it and you get this experience of taking care of it. And for some people with bad baby fever, that can be really worth it. I'm really sorry that these dolls are expensive. I know just for vinyl reborn dolls, there are reborns that are also really expensive. So I think this is just about the same price of maybe a mid-level, mid-range reborn doll. I know it's not fair. I'm sorry. So I think that is the final question I'm going to answer. Thank you everybody for all the questions you gave me, and if you have more questions, feel free to put them in the comments down below and I will do my best to answer them. Thanks guys!